The only time I almost had abs was 2019.
The pandemic.
What was
Fauci? You bastard.
Was Fauci screwed your ass?
Hey, I'm Alex. Here's Zach. We got Paul this week,
I'm back.
and we cover old Nessie. She's back and she's out for blood.
The Japanese were trying to blow her out of the water.
We also get into parenting and teach you how to be a good parent in these very trying times.
Birds and the bees.
And lastly, we
we got names that people don't like to be called.
Yeah, we got a lot coming for you, so check it out. Give me your kids are getting to the age where they're getting birds and bees stories and how it all works.
Oh, for sure, because he's 13, isn't he? 13 or 14.
What's your approach right now? And how curious your kids care?
So it's actually sucks because these moms get so involved in our kids' lives. Like when we were growing up, it was like you didn't go ask your parents about this thing, and your parents didn't talk to you about it.
Correct.
You asked your pervious buddy about it.
No, your older brothers.
Or your older brothers, and they kind of
came to me, and I was like, I know less than you.
Yes.
But let's
explore together.
Yeah, see, I was lucky. My brother's 4 years older than me, so he knew something.
My dad seriously calls us, we got a hot tub, we get in the hot tub with my dad, which we never did. Alex was there. We were probably like 17 and 18. I was like ready to move out. He's like, so you guys probably know about all this stuff with boys' bodies. I was like, Dad.
Our cousin had just impregnated a girl in high school like the week before.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Like, Dad, you're a
Shout out, Chase. You're a loyal listener.
Yeah.
Great man. But it was. So now these moms want to get so involved. So they get on Amazon and buy these disgusting books. And when I say disgusting, like they're so disgusting, right? That like will illustrate
like Kama Sutra books.
It literally, if Kama Sutra books were like overweight older people, like they're like grandparents. I'm like, no, grandparents don't do it. Okay, there's no physical way for them to
No,
get
they
it
for
on.
sure do.
Okay, we know they actually.
I'm
do.
9 months away from being a grandpa.
Oh yeah,
we'll check back with you.
Congratulations, by the way.
I mean, I'm just saying it could.
Congratulations.
Nobody is.
By the way. But anyways, we have these books, and they're just really grossly illustrated, and they go into a lot of detail, which I think you can give I think I'm the best parent out there, right? So I think you can give a moderate amount of advice without being like, hey, I'm going to explain to you, how all of this works, right? Upside down, sideways, wheelchair style.
It depends. It probably depends on just the kid too. Like
how many questions?
Because I grew up with like my family never talked about sex ever. Like you just didn't talk about it. And I go to like some of my buddies' houses, and the parents and the sisters, everyone was just talking about sex. I'm like, this is actually kind of refreshing. Yeah, like I kind of like that. So I need to find I'm looking for like a middle balance. Like my wife is like, I tell them everything from the minute they're 2. I'm like, they don't care right now.
Yeah, they don't care right now.
Why are we telling them?
Ours, I didn't. I took more of the approach. Like our family's more like you said. Like we'll openly talk about whatever. And people are always making jokes about it. But what happened was Coleman, when he's like 12 or 13, it was so hilarious. He comes home from like baseball practice or something, and he's like, "Dad," I'm like, "Yeah." My friends were all saying like 69, and then everybody was laughing. But like, why are they laughing about 69? I was like, oh. This is going to get awkward fast.
Yeah.
He was so hilarious. He's like, oh my gosh, why would you tell me that? And I'm like,
I agree. Why would you tell that?
Because he asked.
I just say
and his friends are laughing about it. He needs to know. His friends know. Like it's not like he's not going to know.
See, that's where you're wrong. They don't know. These kids will say stuff and they think it's funny, but think when you were that age,
really know
how much you said and you didn't understand. And if you want evidence of this, go back and watch like Simpsons or Seinfeld or some of these shows that you were watching when you were younger, and be like, holy crap, I can't believe it just said that, and I never would have known as a kid. Like, you just don't really understand it.
Is this how your conversation went? He's like, hey, Dad, what's 69? You're like, well, son, it's just a super impractical sex move. Very impractical.
Insanely impractical.
I told him what 69 was, and he didn't like it. He didn't like it at all.
Well, if we could wind back the clocks, because I didn't know you super well, but I mean, I actually did know you super well, but I wasn't experienced as a father. So next time we have the opportunity to father, for new fathers out there, come see me, not Paul.
What are you going to do? If Matt comes home to you tonight and says, Dad, all these kids were making fun, saying this and that I was going to What are you gonna do?
All like it's very simple. Say, hey, it's a super inappropriate,
impractical.
Yeah,
impractical,
like sexing. And he says, "I'm done."
And he says, "Dad, what's sex?"
Well, he knows what sex is.
How do you know that he knows? You just got done saying he doesn't really know.
Because Kelsey's book. She's got these books.
Well, when you were saying that these crazy girls, I didn't realize you were talking about Kelsey has the book.
Oh yeah, all moms do.
What does she do? Read it to them at bedtime or what?
Let's be clear. Once one established mom buys something, no, it's like when they have a question like that, she sits them down and she opens that stupid book up, right? And where I suck as a father is I am like really into just being their buddy, and I think there is a little bit more balance that would probably drive my kids to do better. But I also think, as we discussed in the last pod, that AI is going to kill everybody off. So why do I care if my kids make it to be successful adults? Because they're going to be, and we're all going to be dead.
What if you're wrong?
Well, then I'm wrong.
You know how many years that people have been saying it's the end and this and that or the other will probably kill everyone off? They're like, those communists, they'll probably kill everybody off. And then they're like, those socialists, they'll kill everybody off. Those capitalists, they're going to kill everybody off. And it just never happens. And so I don't think AI is killing everybody off either.
Once me and my capitalist buddies figure it out.
I think actual real life, having now fathered for almost 22 years, okay? It's a pretty good experience, right? It's a good level. Same amount of time I have in the car business, and people listen to my advice in the car business. So here's my advice. Make your kids work. They need to work because work creates self-confidence because they know they can accomplish things and they don't have to have somebody else do it for them. And having them figure stuff out, like go mow the lawn, for example. Like the first time Coleman mowed the lawn, what a disaster. It was so hilarious.
Was he mad when you asked him to do it?
Oh, for sure. He was whining and crying like a little baby because no kid wants to work, right?
Yeah.
But making your kids work, it builds self-confidence. And then if they have self-confidence themselves, they can accomplish anything else, right? Like you're not going to have to worry about your kid if he has self-confidence.
Yeah.
And I really believe the way you get that is to work.
Yeah. Self-esteem is big.
Yeah. So you have to make them work.
I think I have a lot of my dad in me, though, is like I have a tough time watching them do a bad job because I know it's going to create more work for me later.
Alex, he's mowing the lawn.
Yeah,
and this is on a riding mower, so I'm not even like making him push a mower.
Yeah.
It was so hilarious. He like went up and mowed it and then circled around. And so the next logical thing would be go right next to where you just mowed and mowed the next part, right? Yeah. He went over the part he already had mowed once.
Did you come out with your hands in the air?
No, I was standing up there exactly with my hands like, what just happened? He circles back around like maybe he just thought he missed a spot or something. I don't know what he's doing. And so he circles back around again, does the same thing. So then now I'm yelling like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And he's like, what am I supposed to be doing? I'm like, you're supposed to be mowing the grass, but you keep going over the same spot. Like you're supposed to each time move over a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a hard thing.
Yeah. It's what you said about you have to stand there and watch them.
Do you remember mowing the lawn back in the day? I mean, all I wanted was to listen to music. And so we'd have these CD players, but my family, we'd never buy like the anti-shock CDs where you had like 10 seconds anti-skip. So I would get a belt and tighten and put it right in my crotch.
To try and make it not
and
skip.
I would mow like a stiff board because I didn't want Tupac to skip. I wanted to hear every lyric
of Dear Mama. One of the funnest things to do if you're a dairy farmer is when it's winter, all the poo they poo, it freezes, right? And so it's like an ice skating rink down in the corral.
And shit.
Yeah. But you've got your black rubber boots on, right? Which are really slippery. And so you grab the cow by the tail and the cow just takes off running because it doesn't like somebody holding onto its tail. And you're just skiing, holding onto a tail, and you're just this little kid, right? So just picture, I don't know, 8, 9, 10-year-old kid grabbing the tail of a cow. Cow's running. You're just skiing.
This is amazing.
It's amazing.
I'm so jealous of
you. That's like a fun thing to do for sure as a kid. But get all the chores done in the freezing butt cold. And where I grew up, the wind blows 99% of days. So it's like
you walked uphill both ways to school.
No, we rode the bus, which might be more torturous than walking.
Was your first, like when you grew up, you're like, I'm not doing this the rest of my life. That was yours. Is that usually the mentality of kids that grow up like that?
No, like my brother went back as fast as he could. My other brother wants to. My other brother
because they just like a little more simple life that way.
All of my friends but one moved back there, stayed there, lived there, raising their families there.
You sold out.
Yeah, like I don't know. They didn't have to milk cows, so I'm sure that for them growing up, it wasn't
they were
sucky
rich
out there.
farmers.
Yeah, it was rich.
just throw some seeds
beef
out.
farm. Yeah, they were beef
some
farmers.
subsidies from the government.
It is interesting how there's like these ups and downs of kids having everything. So like we had stuff, we had a good childhood, but my kids have everything, and then they're going to be soft because they just don't have to work as much as we did.
Hard times.
I think it goes up. I think that's just how it is. It's going to go up and down. I actually want
to discuss this a little bit because my son Coleman did not do much at all. Like he would argue against this because I made him get a job at like age 14. He had to come down to the dealership and wash cars and pull weeds and do whatever. But that's not like real work. It's not like real work. But he did really, like you said, he's had an unbelievable childhood, like unbelievable. But he's a very hardworking, motivated kid.
Yeah.
So it actually makes me scratch my head because I always thought exactly what he said. It's like, no, he's not going to be, because they've made his life so easy. He's not, but he's like, this kid's really
people
motivated.
Can still turn out like tough and gritty without having that up. That's what I have learned. Not everyone. I think there's a better chance of you. There's a better chance of you coming out tough and gritty, having a rough childhood and or like a tougher one we had to work. But they're not even anomalies. I think kids can just do it still.
So you think that's what it is, just anomalies? Because I know another kid.
I don't think it's an anomaly. I didn't think it's a less percentage are going to come out and like be like these hard workers, but they still get some. So like you worry about this next generation because you think they're soft, but I do think like, they're going to come back and be good.
Do you ever see Dana White when he goes off on this generation?
No.
I'll have to show you that later.
Yeah, I've seen it. I know how because I think the same way of them. So you're thinking they're screwed. Yeah. But I think we're going to be surprised that they actually
like I love the way he puts it because he's like, if anybody has anything in them, they're going to freaking dominate because 80% of
that's probably true. I do think the cream will rise.
Yeah, that's what he's like.
High.
He's like, man, 80% of these guys are so pathetic. And so if you have anything in you, you're going to dominate in this generation because they're so pathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we're not knocking that. I'm trying to give him like props, but I do think that.
Oh, not me.
No, we're feeding that generation. We're fattening that calf.
You fatten it, but then the next generation might not do that because maybe they don't have as much. So
that's that whole
phrase
that keeps floating around.
The hard men create
great times.
Hard times. No. Hard times create good men.
Yeah, there you go.
Good men create good times. Good times create soft men.
Soft men create hard times.
And that just goes throughout the ages.
It's the cycle.
I like to think I'm a perfect,
I don't like it. Like if there's one adjective I don't want in life, soft.
Do you know what the worst?
Is there a least like sexy word?
No,
moist.
There is a way worse word.
Didn't we decide on this pod that moist is a word that people don't like?
There's a way worse word to be attached to, and people throw this around lightly, but it means a ton.
Okay.
If you say, "Oh yeah, I think that person's creepy," and they're not, that's the worst reputation because creepy is bad. Like, and people throw it around lightly, like, "Oh yeah, he's kind of creepy," and like maybe they had a weird interaction with him, and they're actually normal. If someone out there is talking about me and has mentioned me in that light, called me creepy, it really upsets me.
Yeah,
I actually feel bad because
that's a terrible reputation.
I was trying to make a birthday gift for you, so I reached out to Liz, like some of the questions, and just like put this book together for you. But one of the questions was if you had to describe Zach in one word, creepy, and she chose creepy.
Yeah. People like Liz will say that, like, "Oh, he's kind of creepy." I'm like, "Don't call him creepy. He has to be in prison for like child molestation to be a creep, but don't just throw out creepy unless they're in prison because that is a bad rep."
Hey, we're gonna give you the book though with some new fertilizer. Do you guys carry wallets? And if so, like, what do you put in that wallet?
So when you say wallet, you mean in the back pocket folds out thing?
I'm leaving that up into your interpretation.
Yeah, I got rid of the open it up, fold it out, big George Costanza wallet.
How long ago?
Forever ago.
Oh, really?
Like longer than I can remember when it even was.
Oh, wow.
But then it gets really hard for a while because then you got like your insurance card, your Costco card, my 17 credit cards, your driver's license.
Yeah.
Then your health insurance, your dental insurance. Like there's just all these little cards that I wish they would let me add to my Apple Wallet because then I could just carry my phone, right? And when the doctor said I need your insurance, I could just.
So you still have a social wallet.
Well, this one's not very good because my old wallet ripped because I was putting too many things. So this one's a little thicker than normal, so don't laugh at it. It's just what a person gave it to me as a gift, so it's what I had.
Is that part of your phone right there?
But it has this cool thing.
Is your phone on
and
that
it just
right
flicks
now?
out your cards like that. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards there, plus a 6th card there, driver's license there,
Okay.
HSA card there, and the Costco card there, and the health insurance card there.
Okay. Why do you need your health insurance card and your HSA card?
Well, because when the doctor says, I need your health insurance, and then you have to pay your copay, then I need both of those.
How often are you going to the doctor where you're busting that card out?
That a simple note in your phone would it suffice?
With 5 people in the family, once a month. So
Yeah.
everybody's getting sick twice a year. Let's just call it that. So once a month, you're going to the doctor.
It's hard. You become like kind of a hoarder with wallets.
Yeah.
I had the same things in my wallet for years, and it became like a superstition for me. I had my gun hunter safety from when we were kids till like last year, and it was so hard to pull out because I'm like, I've been carrying this since I was like in 3rd grade. And then finally Alex is like, you got to get rid of it. And now I have that little app on the Apple, on the back of the Apple phones, on the iPhones. It's just that. And
that's all you have is the little thing on the back.
It's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, but then you can't have the...
No, you don't want that.
Yes, I do. Because then when I watch TV on the airplane, I'm like that.
First off, 2 things in my wallet, right? License, and even that's going to be digital soon, and 1 credit card, which I will rotate the credit card depending on rewards. But I use Apple Pay.
let
You
me
have
see that
all
again.
those cards you just showed me.
Rip that out again.
All those cards you just showed me are on Apple Pay. So
The sad part for me is 3 of those cards I just showed you are on my Apple Pay, so I have no idea why I have them with me right now.
old people are always coming up to me because they're like, "Hey, you're hip. You're
Let me
young.
see that though. You pulled it. I wanted to like hold it.
You're young. What do you do to appear so young?" And I always just say, "Let me see your wallet."
Let me see.
And if I pull out a wallet,
actually
you
don't-
failed the first.
I don't believe you because we've discussed on prior pods how
Look at this.
how you don't
I
get along
cannot-
with old people.
Guys, I can't even get his card out. How do you even get this out of here?
No, it can be hard to get those out.
No, it's not hard. It's not hard. He's just got greasy hands. He's
Yeah,
been
that could
gobbling
be it.
greasy food.
Let me see it though. I want to know what's in it.
But let me get back to a different segment, which I like to call Zach's gifts. So I've hit on some really good gifts for Zach,
We went from wallets to Zach. Like,
but
so
I've also
fast.
missed on a couple of gifts for Zach. So Apple Wallet being a big hit because it's changed his life. Right?
Was that
His
a
whole
gift?
trajectory? Yes, that was
Oh
a gift.
man, that is a nice gift.
Yes. But another one.
Did I ever thank you for that?
Yeah. No, you were like a little.
profuse.
You weren't jacked about that one, but it ended up working out. But one that did it is like a while back. I'm at Costco and I'm like, crap, it's September 18th. And that's like a really nervous day for me because I'm realized
really into birthdays.
He's really into his
I want
birthday.
people to like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a big deal for me.
This is true?
No, it's not true at all. I do not notice my birthday, but he seems to.
Think
really
you do,
worried
or he
about it.
wants you to.
What do I get the guy who has
Everything. Everything.
So I'm at Costco. I'm like, hey, you know what's really annoying for me is at Costco one time a year, they got their fertilizer on sale and you get that big bag. And I'm like, hey, it's always annoying if I miss that sale because then I'm spending more. So I'm like, I'll just give him a bag of fertilizer. He's got a big freaking yard. So I get him a bag of fertilizer. You're laughing. So I just end up like, just hey, here's some fertilizer for this year.
He didn't even wrap it up. I think he used half the bag as well.
I did. I ended up reclaiming the gift.
Yeah. No, he literally, I had it in my garage for 3 years because I use this. I have a whole process with my lawn. It's like a random bag from like.
Turns out he's a
Lowe's.
lawn snob.
Not even like, and then I just had it sitting there, and finally he texted like, "Hey, do you still have that bag I gave you for your birthday?" And I'm like, "Yeah, come and get it." So yeah, he's a good.
He really gave you a bag.
He's
of
still
fertilizer.
Alex is still very upset with me. Years ago, he bought me a basketball for my birthday, and balls get lost. I lose the ball,
But you
and
do.
He brings it up every. This is 20 years ago, so it must have been a really big deal to him that he got me a gift.
Well,
I like cash.
Hey, why are you so upset at him for losing the basketball?
He just likes to like. I have some little amount of faults. He's got to find those
He's
little
finding
things, and it's like, hey, you know, the one time I gave you that birthday gift,
for sure. Find
you
his
freaking treated it
again.
like crap.
Back to what I said. What do you give the guy who has everything?
Everything.
How do you find
Yeah.
faults in the faultless?
I have that struggle with Jessica all the time. She has everything, and if she wants something, she'll buy it. So when Mother's Day is coming up, for example, I don't have a freaking clue, and so many of her birthdays, Christmases, it's just here's a bunch of cash, and then I feel bad because I've only given her cash. So every year, it's like maybe if I give her more cash, she'll get excited. It's like
You're
these
digging
things,
yourself.
yeah, huge
deeper
holes.
into a
so
hole.
deep, so deep.
Yeah.
And then for her 40th birthday, I took her out, and it was actually the birthday of the pandemic. So I took her to Tampa to go to the beach at Clearwater, And so we were sitting on the beach when COVID struck. Still remember the moment I knew it was a bad thing was I was sitting there on the beach trading stocks because the market was like way down. And then all of a sudden the NBA canceled the rest of the season. And I was like, whoa, something bad's going on. And here I was stranded out on a beach somewhere. But anyway, back to my real point. Because I took her on a trip for her 40th birthday, which is kind of a big deal, she kind of expects a trip every birthday now. Like her thing every time her birthday's coming up is, hey, where are you taking me on a trip this year? And I'm always like, that was kind of just a once every decade trip.
You know, you give her cash. Like that's a normal thing. Like here's your Christmas cash.
Yeah.
And she's
a lot of times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only therapy is going to help you get out of that hole.
So I had a buddy who was dating this girl in high school. We're going to leave him anonymous because it was a really toxic relationship. But Jordan and our buddy Sam at the time were buying cars at the auction in high school and then reselling them, right? This is our business partner, Jordan. So we knew
he's been selling cars since then. Mm-hmm. It's in his blood.
And so this buddy who's not related to them has his girlfriend's birthday coming up, goes to his mom and says, hey, Mom, I really want to invest with my buddy Jordan, my buddy Sam. Can you give me $300 to invest? And she's like, sure, yeah, just pay me back when you can, when you get your investment back. So she gives him $300. He goes to the mall with his girlfriend, hands her $300. And I do this to Kelsey all the time because I tell her this story. And he goes like, there you go. You're at the ball. Spend away.
He gave the girl the $300 that he was supposed to invest.
That he was supposed to invest.
Who is this person? This kid is an idiot. You had to hang out with these people. This is
everybody listening to this.
Oh my gosh, you're friends, dude. I know, but jeez, that is brutal. You can't come back from that. I don't care. You make mistakes in high school. No, absolutely not me. I would never.
It wasn't you.
No.
If I kind of telling the story like it was you or something.
No.
Me looking at $300 when I was in high school would be like, I would think it was like 10 grand.
Yeah.
$300 is so much money.
When I was in high school, $300 would have been like $2 million.
Can you imagine just giving that to like a
for me, it would have been $3 million.
Yeah, for sure. Because you've actually told me, I feel like your allowance was even smaller than mine.
Yeah.
And you had 10
Mom
years
gave me more money than she gave Zach, though.
Yeah, but I always knew where her purse was.
Hey, let me see if Alex lied. What did you get like each week to buy your lunches with?
So we got $10 originally, and then inflation during Y2K was crazy, and so it got up to $15. But I got $20.
My parents did a good job. They raised us to not need them in the future. Really. So they kind of like made it kind of hard, but. Look at us now, we have our own podcast in a really, really
I know, and listeners might not believe it. I told Jessica about our fan yesterday that pulled up beside us at Chick-fil-A and was like screaming, oh my gosh, I'm listening to you guys right now. Hey, and she's like, you're so full of crap. This story's so fake. I'm like, this story is 100% real. And she's like, well, then it was one of your friends. I'm like, yeah, it actually was, but still.
You guys.
But just in the future, if you recognize us from the pod, we're just normal people trying to live our lives out there. So you can say something quietly, but I don't, just don't embarrass me.
I am not a normal person, A, and I am not just trying to live my life. B,
you're about that recognition.
Yes. You get out, you take a selfie, you post that on your gram, and then tell everyone.
This is your last chance to be famous, Paul.
I mean, essentially what I want is, if you saw me and David Goggins in line at the Chick-fil-A, I want you running up to me saying, can I get a selfie? And like Goggins is like, what about me? And it's like, why would I get a picture with you? This guy's got a podcast.
Disappoint you? It ain't gonna happen.
Oh, it ain't.
No, it could.
It ain't gonna happen.
You're a charismatic guy. You can get what you want.
You're right. It's not gonna happen. Nor do I want it. I mean, if you went through my social media, you'd be like, he's definitely not looking for recognition. He hasn't posted since 2010 or something.
Well, you had abs back then.
Yeah,
you had to post.
No, the only time I almost had abs was 2019.
That pandemic.
What was
Fauci? You bastard.
Was Fauci screwed your abs?
No. I screwed my own abs. It was a really weird deal. So I had this goal to get it because Jordan said I couldn't. And when people say I can't, in fact, if you want that thing, just start telling me I can't. Okay. And then I'll want it. But anyway, so it like got me super motivated. I was working out.
Sexual side
I was
story?
eating.
No, it's a dealership story, but
okay, go on.
So I had this date. I had to have abs by X date, right? And because it gave me 90 days to do it. It was a hard 90 days though, because it was November, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then this like all kinds of treats and meals and parties, and you know what I mean? Like it was just hard. Mm-hmm. So the reality of this story, and this is like quite true, is November I didn't do much, December I didn't do much, but from January to February, I freaking worked my butt off, and I got super, super close, but I didn't get it. And so it was kind of sad because just at the end, like I didn't hit it. I didn't hit the, like I can show you the picture. I'm still very proud of the picture, even though there's not a six pack, but
yeah,
it just like goal was over. So I just went back to eating and quit working out.
It's not about the destination, Paul. It's about,
I know. Listen,
it's about the journey.
2019, his brain, it just screwed up.
Different.
Zach, when was your like, because since I've known you, you've been a bit of a specimen physically. When was your low physically? When were you like?
Audience, don't buy into this.
What were you like? When
my low? I'll tell you my low. Okay, me and Liz first get married. I get this job where it's unlimited Snickers, unlimited Mountain Dew, and for some reason the only thing I knew how to cook was macaroni, and I would eat it by the box.
Okay.
And so every night I would eat a whole box of mac and cheese, and eat Snickers all day and drink Mountain Dew. I was the happiest I've ever been. So. Just so you know, if you want to be happy, do that. But if you want to sit there and work out, it's a little harder. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Like my wife liked me the same when I was doing that, or if I was in good shape. She doesn't say anything no matter what. She didn't say, "Hey, you're looking fat." Then she never said anything then. Yeah. And then I get in good shape. It doesn't say anything. But the minute I start to get soft, Liz like, "Oh, you're looking a little soft in the midsection." I'm like, "Well, I can't just." Keep doing that. I'm not doing
so my wife is, I think part of my issue why I'm a little chubby bubby is my wife's the opposite. When 2019, I was really close. She was every day. I hate the way you look. You look gross, like a skinny skeleton or something like that. She would say,
people want to knock you off.
And she would tell me,
hold on one second. We've made a real good point that our wives are the antagonists, and we need that to motivate ourselves.
But I think if she was the opposite and was like, "Hey, you're getting a little chubby in the middle," it would help me to not get there. But she's like, I tell her she's a chubby chaser because she actually likes it when I'm chubbier. It's weird.
Yeah.
Well,
but
she likes the dad bod. She likes that dad bod.
Mm-hmm.
My low came on another continent. And if we can roll some of the footage of where I was, and Kelsey was the same way, right? She never cared.
They think they know. They'll look back and be like, "Oh, like I tried to tell you." I'm like, "You didn't. No one cared. Like you're happy and in love, you know."
But mine was similar because you're working at a dealership, and I was managing it, so the salespeople would always suck up to you so they could get like better deals for their customers or whatever, which I would grant, of course, every time. So I had a guy bring me a Mountain Dew and a ton of freaking Double Bubble every day.
Every day, and he would bring the 44 ounce.
Yes, a big dog,
and he'd bring himself a 64 ounce.
Yeah, so I got thick, and I'm in Thailand, and I'm running around with some elephants in Thailand, and one of the males starts getting really jealous of my relationship with one of the females, and I'm like, "This is it, right? This is like."
No, I thought it was when because you do a picture where they lift you up with their trunks, and they couldn't lift Alex. The trunk it struggled to go up, and Alex he felt really bad. Yeah. Dad had to talk to him.
What'd you weigh then? 142?
I actually don't. I was so clueless that I didn't really get on a scale, but I was probably like in the 190, 180.
You would have never been in the 180, 190.
Roll the pick.
Yeah, will you put the pick up for the audience to see?
Yeah.
You will.
I'll roll it.
Okay. I think this discussion, though, I've always found that you were saying you were happy eating the Snickers bars and the Mountain Dews, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I find the opposite. Like I love the taste of the Snicker and the Mountain Dew, but I hate myself when I'm not what would be the word? Self-control.
Yeah.
When I'm lacking that self-control and that discipline.
I'm 40 now.
Mid-20s though, you're different. Mid-20s like you eat whatever and feel fine.
I might make that box of macaroni and not think it's enough and put some hot dogs in there.
Yeah, but you guys are saying the physical fine, right? Like still today, if I ate it, I feel fine.
Yeah. Well, once you realize what it's doing to your bodies, but back then, we'd gone years of like our sustenance in the Helm home was Mountain Dew, right? Like we drank a lot of Mountain Dew, and it was.
This is what we should do right now with this podcast. Mountain Dew should sponsor us because I still drink Mountain Dew like crazy, and my wife takes it.
I drink Diet.
She drinks so much Mountain Dew. Well, yeah, it's Diet, but either way, Diet Mountain Dew sponsor us.
Yeah.
I don't need much out of this podcast,
so.
but some free Mountain Dew would be incredible.
Although I do want to talk to you about Dew, because have you had Mountain Dew in a different country? It's kind of rare to find, but sometimes you'll go to a country and they're like heavy on Mountain Dew.
So their cans are different. Like you go over to like, you've been in Mexico, they have like these extra ribbed cans.
Well, even Hawaii has
those.
different cans.
Yeah, Hawaii does too.
Because they all process.
And maybe that affects the way I think it's going to taste, but there's not a lot of Diet Mountain Dew in other countries.
Yeah,
I know there's not.
You're not drinking regular
Coke
Mountain Dew.
products, you're getting Coke Zero everywhere.
Yeah.
And Coke Zero, I do think tastes better like in a different country.
Yeah, well, mainly because I don't like Diet Coke because they don't use aspartame. Because I got to get my doctor says I need at least 2 milligrams of aspartame an hour. Yeah.
As you guys know, Diet Mountain Dew, you should sponsor us. We're so crazy when we go out of country, we literally pack it in a suitcase and bring it with us because heaven forbid if we get there and there
Paul's
isn't any
wife
Mountain Dew.
is really into Diet Mountain Dew, and she thinks there's no Diet Mountain Dew on this whole island in Hawaii.
We should also have
She
Swig.
carried through all day long. We had layovers. She's carrying a bag of Diet Mountain Dew. The first thing that's for sale when we get to Hawaii in the hotel we're staying is Diet Mountain Dew.
They had a lot of it. Marriott came through. Marriott, you should sponsor us too.
Dude, I like these shout outs to all these sponsors.
Raytheon, Lockheed Martin.
Lockheed Martin.
Because the industrial war complex is, that's what that's
and
where the money is.
Those guys have extra money to spend.
For sure.
I'm not going there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. What I was really trying to say to you guys though is like happiness. When I'm being disciplined, that's when I feel the happiest.
Yeah, I agree with that right now.
Like if I
like it not in the moment.
Not in the moment.
Not in the
Never
moment.
in the moment. Like if I wake up, work out, hate it. I freaking hate it. But the rest of that day, I feel like, I'm so glad that I overcame the bitch inside of me that wanted to give up and not do it.
Do you know?
I wasn't sure which word would be worse there.
Mac, that was Paul, by the way. That wasn't me saying that.
Yeah. This is a kid-friendly pod.
I know. That's why I didn't say the other word.
What word were you going to say? The Ed word?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's race friendly as well, so you can't use that word anymore.
Yeah.
Outside the pod, I know. I know what you're like.
What's happening right now? That wouldn't even make sense. I wake up, I work out, and then I'll be like, what?
No, we can.
It started with a P, okay?
knows
And I
how
didn't
we
know
get
that I
there.
should say it or not.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
Will you cut all that?
Do you know?
You're gonna get us canceled just because of that.
No. Do you know what I've been doing lately? I'm trying to do is, I watched this interview with Jerry Seinfeld, and he talks about meditation.
Yeah.
He's like, the 3 things that like have changed my life is transcendental meditation.
Medication or meditation? Which
knows?
one for him?
Both probably.
Okay.
And exercise, and then coffee.
Coffee. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the meditation. Have you ever meditated like consistently?
I mean, I'm like a week in.
Dude, I back in, you guys will love this, 2018, I was doing it like every night. Like every night.
Your peak was 2018. You had a 6-pack. You're
Yeah,
meditating.
but you have to remember what was going on in my life in 2018. That's when I'd quit my job and we bought our first dealership, right? I was stressed out of my mind, so I was meditating at night just to keep my emotional humankind together. I was just trying to keep it together, Jerry. And so I was meditating like a crazy amount back then, and it's awesome. Like it is freaking awesome.
When you're meditating, are you trying to focus on anything, or are you just letting your mind take you?
So it was really weird when I first started doing it, just like whatever, right, happened. But what started happening is, for whatever reason, my mind would just trail off into memory land of like way, way, way back into the day memory land. And so I would just let it wander because it was kind of fun just to relive these moments. And normally I can't remember anything, but doing the breathe in, now breathe out. And you got that little narrator guy that he's talking. Yeah, because I was using the I can't remember the name of the app now. But anyway, he's got this nice British voice. So he's like, take a deep breath in. And now exhale slowly.
I wish you always.
Now take one. I wish I did too, because I feel like the British have
you
such
already
a great...
speeded it up. You already speeded it up. You
I
gotta
know,
get back
but
to that call point.
but listen to me.
Not the g'day, bye.
Hi, lassie. But anyway, dude, meditation's solid. I'm telling you, it is solid.
I'll say how long and keep it up. Right now, I just kind of close my eyes and try to let my mind go wherever, and it's like almost I'm seeing like a movie of random stuff.
Yeah,
but
yours is just random stuff. Mine was memories. Like it was
I'm seeing some. I'm kind of letting it go run its course, depending on like, if I'd just woken up. Like my mind runs differently throughout the day.
Yeah,
so it depends on when I've done it.
Yeah, I always did it right before bed.
Supposedly it helps like with energy. It's like it's supposed to be awesome. So we'll see.
I always did it right before bed, and that was the other thing. I would sleep so good. Like I don't know what the deal was, but I would sleep really good. I should get back to that. I don't know where I fell off.
Are you in like what pose are you in when you're meditating?
So
just like a yoga scene?
Yeah, Indian style. I would just sit.
I sit like this.
You just do it in a chair?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't know if there's.
I do it like I've done it while I'm talking to Alex. Alex is sitting there talking to me, and I just zone out, and I'm like, I'm in pure Zen mode right now. I'm like above the clouds.
So Elrond's brother's name is Elros, and he has 10 grandsons.
Yeah, once he starts talking Lord of the Rings,
you're out.
It takes me to my happy place. I zone out.
Did you watch the Lord of the Rings series on Amazon?
Yeah.
When's the next season coming out?
I don't know.
Hashtag who cares?
No, I'm frustrated because it was actually really good.
It was fine. Like it was fine. It started off
can
really
I tell
bad
the listeners, by the
really
way,
good.
can I tell them about how the Hobbit series is better than Lord of the Rings series?
Oh, we can't. I don't know. I can't. I don't have the energy to entertain.
Yeah, I don't.
Even that sentence is.
I want it stricken.
Just because you don't like Lord of the Rings, period, or you disagree with the
No, I love Lord of the Rings.
But you don't. You also don't think the Hobbit.
Stupid.
No, it was awesome.
Oh, you like
the 3 Hobbit
graphics and instead of like shooting on location.
It's all fine. I
just
didn't
bad
care.
guys.
The story.
And no, the freaking story.
I know you're an artist and a cinematographer.
He's doing this on purpose.
Yeah,
I was just for the story,
meditate
and the action and the intensity of it. It was awesome.
Skip Bayless in him.
I'm telling you, it was freaking awesome. Now the other ones are awesome too. I just think that the Hobbit, like what is it? There's 3 of them. Whatever.
Yeah, I would say you're like in the 2% of people that think that.
See,
maybe
this hot take will make us famous. Then you should put it out there. People will start commenting like crazy.
When the Hobbit
this guy's an idiot.
When the Hobbit was relevant.
Yeah,
like 15 years.
No, and I think it all speaks for itself. Like people don't watch the Hobbit.
Right now, J.R. Tolkien's so happy because he also felt like that was his best work.
Yeah, he definitely did. No, the new Harry Potter series though, I'm hoping that's what they do.
Yeah, that'll be sick.
That'll be really cool.
HBO's doing the new Harry Potter, which will be good because we all want to see some serious action between Ron and Hermione.
Yeah, who's doing it?
It's going to be like Euphoria, but but for Harry Potter.
Like
Dumbledore is going to be suspending.
Harry Potter was good.
Did you? Speaking of British voices, though, did you listen to Harry Potter the books?
So the first 3 or 4 I did.
All right.
And I also did not watch the last 3 probably movies because wasn't there like 8 of them?
Yeah, they did do 8.
So I think I watched the first 5.
We gotta
probably listen to the first 4 books, but
how do we even talk to you?
I know it's hard.
I know, but Harry was such a
he's a freaking teenager.
Wimp.
Yeah, he's a teenager.
No, he's an overrated wizard.
Zac Efron in Teenage Musical. That's a teenager.
I never saw that movie.
He was probably like
saw High School Musical.
You
didn't see High School Musical. You're so full of crap. You probably watch it every night.
Hey, let's finish the podcast just like this.
Liz, make sure you watch High School Musical with Zach tonight.
Let's get to today in history. Okay,
today in history.
So today in history, in 1933, guess who was seen?
This day in history, 1933.
Who was seen?
Yeah, just guess.
Bigfoot.
You're close. Sweet. Aliens.
You're close.
Oh man. Was
the Loch Ness Monster.
Correct.
Oh,
the Loch Ness Monster, dude. This couple was walking around that lake, Loch Ness. It's Inverness, actually. And
what's Inverness? That's the real name?
Inverness is the name of the lake.
The name of the lake.
And the name of like the town around that.
But the animal is the Loch Ness, right?
Yeah, and they see this thing bobbing up and down in the water, and it becomes this big news article in London, and London's like, we got to send people up there to like look for it, and they end up giving like, I think they offered 20,000-ish pounds sterling, which is a lot of freaking money.
It's still, they do.
To put it in perspective, 20,000. That's like right now, 20,000 pounds sterling is like $1.25. $1.25 is equivalent to 1 sterling.
Yeah.
So 20,000 pounds in 1933, that's a lot of money.
It's like
also
30,000.
To put it in perspective, you remember the movie Jaws, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember Sam Quint, who that character was? The shark hunter.
Oh yeah.
They offer him $10,000 to kill the shark that's eating people. 10,000. That's in 1980.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So man,
to catch relative.
I mean, if you had the chance, I would definitely go after.
Was the
Nessie.
20,000 sterling pound like that was to kill it, catch it, or just get a photo of it, or what?
We don't know.
Don't know.
Back then they would have like there wasn't an Harambe crowd that was cheering on animals.
Not a lot. Yeah, they were just like, hey, dead or alive, I want this thing. We'll give you. And who knows? It's a bunch of Scottish people. Would London actually give these people the money? Who knows? But yeah, I've been to both places. Okay, I've been to Inverness. We've been on the lake.
Yeah, flex that.
And I literally, when I was on the lake, I'm like, I'm here probably once ever. All I'm gonna do is look
for the monster.
I just looked the whole time. We were on this little boat ride. I'm just scouring, just looking.
So 1933's first time it saw. When was the last time it was seen?
Well,
there's been a lot of weird sightings.
There was there was a photo that came out like in the, I think, late 30s, and eventually I think they determined it was doctored.
So one of the interesting things about Loch Ness is how deep it is, because it's an extremely deep.
Yeah, it's
obviously a natural lake.
Big, like it's not like you could go to this little pond. It's huge.
It's huge and extremely deep. So they've done. I think since then they've done a lot of like even radar tests, and they've had some goofy results with radar tests. Yeah. Like we can establish there's some sort of prehistoric creature living in the lake. Right now, its intelligence level to dodge radar and things like that, like. That throws a lot of questions into my mind, but we know it exists.
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't know for sure it exists because I didn't see it, but I've been there, and I've been to where Jaws apparently was, where they filmed the movie.
Yeah,
and they just did not. They were not offering those guys, the local shark hunters, enough.
This is August of 23 from the New York Post. There was a sighting.
Yeah, there it is.
That's
still out there.
They're still seeing it apparently. Still a thing.
The bonny banks of Loch Ness.
Dude, there's the picture from 23. There's like, it's like nothing really.
No, that's how all the pictures are. They're kind of like
I think it's just a family of dolphins or something.
I mean, say I have a gun to your head, right? And I'm like, do you believe? Like, I want your real answer. Do you think it exists?
Well, when you say is there an animal that
is there an animal that no one knows? It's not an unidentified species that's living in Loch Ness.
I mean, I would have to say no because I haven't looked into it enough.
Incorrect. You will be shot. Yeah. At the end of this experience. I don't believe it, actually.
That is incorrect.
Because this couple, who knows? Like, the 30s, was there like LSD maybe kicking in? Like
they're still seeing it as of like 6 months ago.
Like, you'd treat
8 months ago.
Like you'd treat like common ailments with very hard drugs or
you want to
like
shake
chemicals.
shake the
No,
ice
I'm just hoping
mic.
that they also sponsor us. So I'm just giving them a little.
I've been holding my monster
if they'll
out.
sponsor us, I'm just letting them know what kind of action they'll get. I have a question about that I would want to ask. I'm kind of really curious about. Do you have a library card?
No, freak no.
Okay, do you? So this is an interesting, weird thing. So, what's his name? The really rich guy that got he's from Ireland. You should know because you got that Irish blood. Who am I thinking of? Come on.
I think you're thinking of the Scottish guy.
No, Carnegie.
Carnegie's Scottish.
Scottish. Yeah. Oh, is he Scottish? Mm-hmm. Either way, Scottish guy, super triple billionaire. His goal was to make a fortune in the first half of his life and then spend the last half of his life giving it away, right? So the way he chose to give it away was to create libraries across America. Uh-huh. And guess how much it costs to get a library card?
I don't know. $1?
They're free.
That was a trick question.
And yet,
we all know that.
And yet, nobody has one. And the reason I'm on this because I use the Libby app. Hey, Libby, you should sponsor us too. I'll talk all about you all the time. So you get this Libby app, and you can listen to audiobooks for free because you just check them out from the library. So the more library cards you can get, the more access to more books you have. So I'm always asking friends like for their library card to add it into my Libby app, but nobody ever has one.
Yeah.
And so it's been weirding me out. It's free. People around the world have written down how to be successful, or even if you're into fiction, like for free, you could get this stuff.
Nothing's free. So by the way, Libby's probably heavily subsidized. Like all libraries now are heavily subsidized because Carnegie's don't go around building them anymore.
I bet it's not. I bet he set up like a trust and it's probably like funding it.
The internet really, the access to information has changed everything. Like,
but I understand what you're saying. Libby, they should download
Why does
Libby.
Nobody have a library card? That's what I'm actually saying. I want your library card for my Libby app so I can listen to more books, but nobody ever has a card.
Okay, so I'll get
you. Can you go get me a? Can you go?
My mother-in-law's big into Libby.
Where do you live?
Yeah,
What
think
library
Liz
could you get
listens
me
to it.
access to? What's your biggest, closest library?
Davis County is a big library. We
Can
got
you get
books
me that?
dated as old as 1938.
Which one of you is getting me the card?
I don't get myself a card. I gotta get you a card.
I don't know. All you listeners, put your credit, or not your credit card, your library card number in the.
Where libraries screwed
Comments.
America is when they started bringing in that propaganda known as the Dewey Decimal System. Because what a stupid way to track.
What even
That's
is
how
the
they
Dewey
organized
Decimal?
it. So
Yeah,
they'd
but-
have like a book would be point.
Oh, that thing?
318,
Yeah, that's stupid. I'm
and it'd
with
be
you.
like they put a number before because that would give you the category. And so it's like,
Yep. Stupid.
Alex
So
knows
stupid.
my stance.
Why is it
on-
called Dewey Decimal? Because Dewey, some guy named Dewey
yeah,
created it.
some freaking leech off the government named Dewey set it up. Sub-library, it's somewhere.
But
Dewey-
why does nobody have a library card? What is the deal?
No, you didn't convince me either. Because look at your wallet. That's why no one has a library card. Moving on.
But you
So
get me a Davis County library
we were
card.
talking about books when me and Alex were kids. Alex read a ton of books. He's a smart one. I like books, but if they have to be like the book, the top book, and I'll get into it. But for school, we used to have to read a book and then take a test. And if you got like 70% on the test, it would consider you like, hey, you read the book.
It's called Accelerated Reader. Was the program.
Accelerated Reader. And so there's this book going around. Alex could probably give you more information on this. What was the name of the book?
Dragon Song.
Dragon Song.
I had actually read the book.
This rumor starts going, hey, if you answer the shortest answer on it's multiple choice, if you answer the shortest answer, you'll get 70% on this Dragon Song and you'll pass off a book. And so that starts to go like it spreads like wildfire. They're out of the junior high. And of course I'm like, that's great info. I'm gonna get that. So I do it. And apparently everybody does it. And all of a sudden the teachers catch on. And so they pretty much say, hey, if you really read the book, we're just gonna give you you just write a synopsis on the book and we'll give you that test. Like,
Just a
you
couple
passed it.
sentences explaining
Just
like
a couple
basic
sentences.
plot of the book.
I think I just literally wrote like, I cheated. Like I went with the flow. I cheated. Alex actually read Dragon Song. How stupid is that?
I didn't need
What
the
a
Accelerated Reader
dumb,
point, so I didn't even.
dumb.
It's about this. You have this Dragon Song. Just so
And
you're aware,
a dragon
there's
writes this
thread.
sweet song, Puff
No,
the Magic
has
Dragon.
nothing to do with that. But there's like this environmental issue called thread that comes down and it hits like the dragons and kills off all these dragons. So they're trying to figure out what's causing the threat.
Literally, like 2/3 of the school gets used because of this. I remember going on a Saturday to like garden at my junior high.
because everybody cheated.
Everybody cheated. You had to make up to you.
Yeah.
But so I went with the flow. That was my
Dude,
big learning.
You got to hear this story.
experience.
You'll love this story then. So same thing happens to me. We read this book. You're supposed to pick a book, read a book, and then we had to write this book report. So I'm writing my book report. And one of the questions on the book report at the very end was, did you like this book? Why or why not? And so I wrote, hey, I really didn't like it because I'm more into mysteries and something like that, right? Like
Good
it's
Nancy
my thing.
Drew.
Yeah, Good Nancy Drew or the Hardy Boys or something. And I get my paper back and it says B+. And then right below that, my teacher has written, like always in red ink, right? She writes, this is a mystery book. Next time, read the book.
Oh my
But she gave me a
gosh.
B+. She didn't give me a U.
But you did actually read it?
No,
Oh, you didn't.
I didn't read a thing. I just wrote I didn't read.
We're gonna learn something.
Let me
Alex,
tell you something about me in high school. And so I can't even understand what goes on in high school. I didn't do anything. Like I did, if I had a homework, I would just do as sloppy as I could without reading anything. I cheated off my friends if there was something else. Like I didn't do anything in high school.
So I actually got a U once for cheating, which
Yeah.
might blow your minds to hear. This actually happened to me. So what had happened, we were in English class. Mrs. Stock, Kyban was in the class.
What's her name? So we can
Mrs. Stock.
Yes, we do not like.
She
you,
might be
Mrs.
just a
Stock.
Miss Stock.
I don't care.
No, I actually look back because she was the first teacher to kind of really be into the Beatles, and she would put a lot of Beatles into our curriculum, which I really appreciated because now I'm a big fan of the Beatles, and she did a good job with that. But I'm studying for this. I'm cramming for this test right before we're about to take it, and I have a study sheet. And she's like, okay, everyone, we're going to take the test now. I throw my books on the floor. Okay, the study sheet, a corner of the study sheet pops open. I don't notice that, right? I take the test. She's going around, in her little, like the thing, whatever she's doing, right? Walking around. And she sees the study sheet and grabs my paper and rips it up in front of me. And so I'm like,
drama queen. She ripped it up in front.
rips it up in front of the class.
How old are you?
I was in like 8th grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I go to class after, or I go talk to her after. I'm like, I wasn't cheating. She's like, I saw it. I'm like, let me take the test right now. I'll take it in front of you. I can prove to you that I wasn't cheating. She's like, that wouldn't be fair to the other students.
She was a Beatles fan. That makes me not like the Beatles anymore.
Yeah.
I know.
It also makes me sad that you like the Beatles only because you were manipulated.
Yeah, I grew up. I taught you about the Beatles.
manipulative
So to make up for this, I got an F on that test. I still ended up with a B in the class,
Well
even with
deserved.
that F, right? I got an F on that test, or a 0 on that test, and I had to write, to make up my U, I had to write a paper on the Scout Oath. So I'm writing a paper on honesty and about integrity and honor while I'm lying to myself and to the world around me because I didn't cheat, right? So rather than go down with the ship, I chose the coward's way out.
Peter Keating right there.
Yep.
100%.
100%.
That's something he would have done. But you've changed.
No, I don't know. The first time he had me read that book, I came to him.
What
And
book?
I had The Fountainhead.
There you go.
So I hadn't read very much of it. And so it's in the beginning when Peter Keating's kind of like the guy.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's like, he wins the class thing and he's like top of the class or whatever. I come to work and I tell Alex, dude, you're Peter Keating. And I didn't realize how insulting that was because I hadn't gotten all the way through the book of what Peter Keating actually is. It's one of my favorite memories that I called him Peter Keating. And you just did too. So maybe he really is Peter Keating.
Yeah. There's a chance.
No, man.
What other, I mean, I had a couple times where I cheated. I got caught cheating one time in Spanish class.
You can't say I had a couple times that I cheated.
No.
You can't get away with that, right?
But I had one time I got it taken. I was cheating off somebody else's paper, and a guy catches me. It was like the guy walking around at lunch. I don't know why he was walking around at lunch.
Holzer.
Oh my gosh, this guy's a character.
Counselor.
He puts it in his back pocket. So literally, he's got his shirt tucked in. My cheating thing is in his back, and I know he's going to my teacher next. So I'm like, I tell my buddy Seth, I'm like, hey, do your thing. Get me that paper back. So Seth sneaks behind him in front of everyone at lunch and tries to pull it out of his back pocket. Turns around, grabs his hand, and then that made him really rush to give it to my Spanish teacher. And I don't remember what happened, but I'm
why
sure he got in
why
trouble.
did he want to? He just wanted to narc. He just wanted to be the police.
He's like
he's
the
just
police.
got to be the police.
Yeah, I don't know what else he was doing besides that, like walking around making sure people don't eat 2 slices of pizza or cut in line. Cut in line, he was like the guy that got mad. What a great
He
job.
loved that back pocket, though, because my buddies actually were looking at a dirty magazine at lunch, right? And I say my buddies because I really wasn't there for this one, right? It sounds like you're like, oh, you're just covering for yourself. They're looking at dirty magazine at lunch. Holder comes, grabs it, puts it in his back pocket, and they actually successfully
pulled it out of his back pocket?
They successfully pulled it out of his back pocket.
Who's this person that keeps taking it?
Holzer was like a ground duty. He was in charge of, I don't know, policing.
He was a school counselor.
Dude, do you know what he's doing now? Because I do. He's a high school soccer referee.
Yeah.
So last night,
he was old then. I think
last
he's
night,
probably.
Listen, as I go to this game last night, soccer for Pleasant Grove and Lehigh, and Pleasant Grove's winning like 6-0. Like they're destroying them. And they have a mercy rule. If they score 8, it's game over because it's a mercy rule. Yeah. And Pleasant Grove eventually does score 8 and the game's ended. But before the game ends, the referee stops the game and kicks the entire. There's like probably 50 people from Lehigh there in the stands to cheer for their kids. He kicks the entire stands out of the game.
Good for him.
Every single person, as if every single person there was like saying something or being like, I don't know what in the world.
I mean, when it comes to Lehigh, you got to really treat that cancer and just tear it all out.
He kicks the entire team.
These refs, they get a little bit of power and they can.
Yeah, he's this guy who runs around trying to tattle on people for cheating.
Have you ever refed anything?
Yeah, I did once.
It's not an easy job.
Dude, it was wild. It was an alumni tournament at our high school. And so these, I'm just a little 17-year-old kid. And so our team was putting on the alumni tournament, but all these alumni were coming back who are now 25, 28, 29-year-olds or whatever. And these 2 big dudes, it's like, because they're the centers and the power forwards, they're just freaking about to fight. And so I'm calling a foul like every time down the court because they're literally, it's like a wrestling match, not a basketball game. And I thought they were going to beat me up at one point because I'm just this scrawny little 17-year-old. And they were getting dang frustrated. It was hot. It was a bad deal.
I subbed in to ref soccer one time, and I don't know the rules of soccer. And so I get there, and I'm like, my buddy's like, hey, you go and they pay you $10 per game. I was like,
that's good money.
That's great. I'm probably like 12 at this time, but I'm reffing kids that I think that are even older than me. It was wild. So all of a sudden, the parents are losing their minds at me. Like the whole game, they're freaking out. yelling for us offsides call.
Yeah,
They wanted an offside. Dude. And I think I literally turned around at one point and was like, hey, dude, I actually don't even know the rules. I'm subbing in. And the parents were like, oh.
No wonder you're not so last night at that game, I don't know the rules. And I kept thinking, why don't they just kick it? That kid's wide open down at the end. And
you don't
somebody next to me is like,
that's what I
can't.
said.
I'm like, can't.
No, it's offsides is super complex.
What is
right?
offside? Yeah, what is that?
If I explain to you, we're gonna need a chalkboard.
Oh, gotcha.
But it's super complex, and I didn't learn it until it's really not that hard. But I didn't learn it until playing FIFA for like years. That I'm finally like, okay, that's how you get it, because you gotta play the video game to.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough rule, but it does keep everybody in check. They should do that in basketball too.
No, they shouldn't. They should undo it in soccer so that it's higher scoring.
Do you like cherry pickers? I mean, when you grew up, you like a kid that just didn't do anything and he kind of hung out by the goal.
No,
got a heavier kid.
Because that's who it benefits, is a cherry picker.
But that's what soccer is. Like, it's not like soccer, from what I witnessed last night and other times. Don't you have people that are actually supposed to stay on that end of the court, and then others that are defenders that stay back on this side of the court?
Yeah,
I mean, that's not a court, the field, whatever.
We'll explain it off the.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, in basketball, everybody comes to this end, and then everybody goes to that end.
Yeah.
In soccer, it feels like more like you stay down here, and then we're gonna get the ball and get it to you.
That's because of offsides. It keeps you like these groups.
Yeah, later you're gonna have to explain it to me. I don't think the pod wants to hear about it. Could be wrong, but maybe they do.
They probably want to know more.
Let me start explaining. When a man loves a woman.
Okay.
Yeah.